Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Gabby and welcome to my channel. I'm just going to jump right into it because we're just going to jump into it, okay? As you can tell by the title, I'm about to vent and spill a lot of tea. A lot of tea. Okay, so we're going to start off this story by talking about how tired I am of my life. I don't know why I seem to be the type of person that attracts disrespectful lunatics. I don't know if it's because the universe is like, since you, Gabby Bowen, want to be a filmmaker, a creative, we're going to surround you with the most disrespectful, idiotic people alive so that not only can you realize these people exist in your industry, but simultaneously you will have great material to pull from when you make your projects. Yeah. So this is going to be a bad story, and every bad story should start off the same by saying, I went onto Craigslist. I have receipts, I got emails, I'm ready to spill, okay? I went on Craigslist because, your girl don't got a job. I do not have a job. So I was like, okay, let me look on Craigslist, even though I have never had a good experience with Craigslist. Your girl was desperate. Desperate. So I go on to Craigslist and I'm looking for like film writing jobs. And I come across this one listing and it's like, I'm looking for a person, a filmmaker, a videographer or something to help me produce these web series. I'm creating a web series and I need some help shooting them. So, I hit them up. I let them know the type of camera I have. I'm college educated. I have a YouTube channel, hire your girl. So they hit me back up and they're like, okay, so I already hired somebody, but since I checked out your YouTube channel, I think you're awesome. This is verbatim. They think that I'm awesome, but everybody knows that. So they thought that I was awesome and they were like, I would love to collab with you. So I was like, bet. They wanted to create like a series together. I would not be paid. And I was like, all right. Like, I wasn't too opposed to not being paid because if I were to write a web series and put that on my resume and my portfolio, that would actually be really strong, So I was willing to bite the bullet. I was going to eat the sandwich. And then it just, okay. So they sent me several ideas, and they were just throwing them at me, asking me what I thought. And so we're only going to talk about the one that is the problematic one. So I have my emails, my laptop's right here. Let's go ahead and get into it. So they say, another show I came up with is a TV inmate dark dramedy about a girl who just found out her boyfriend of 6 years is gay. And that same boyfriend who she made the pact with, they made a pact to be abstinent until marriage. So now that she's free from her relationship, she's on the hunt for sex. She moves out from her mother's house, finds a room to rent on Craigslist, and begins her new adventures of getting some with no regrets. And then they called it Unapologetically Kelly or Falling Backwards. And I was like, okay, I'll take the time to mention that this person is male. I'm assuming that they're white because they have a white sounding name. I will not be saying their name. So I was like, okay, cool. So I kind of liked the literal bare bones of Unapologetically Kelly. Like, I liked the literal bare bones of it. Not the whole having sex all the time sort of aspect. No. But I understood there was a concept of a woman exploring her sexuality after dedicating her life to not having sex. Like, dedicating a portion of her identity is, I will be celibate. So I responded back to them and I said, I really like this concept, but it's important that this concept has more depth. Keep in mind depth, okay? Keep that in mind. And the lack of it, you're going to continuously hear from this man. This concept needs to have more depth than just her having sex. I think what would make her really captivating was if she had a desire for sex, but she's clueless and she's scared. She has a little bit of shame attached to it. And the show is about her trying to find confidence and the courage to be her sexual self, along with other things in her life. And I think having obstacles in her trying to explore her sexual self would really add to the comedy, since he called it a TVMA dramedy. Okay. So they proceed to email me back, and this is what they say. With Unapologetically Kelly, I agree there can be some obstacles, but we still have to keep the audience interested. ... Let me pause. I want you, viewer, to keep a tally of every time you hear something problematic in this email I'm about to tell you. And I want you to keep in mind, the worst has not come yet. The worst is very far from this very moment. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay, keep your tally. I hope you took a tally for the first statement I just said. I will continue. That's why I came up with Unapologetically Kelly, because she was feeling unapologetic about the decision she's making since she feels she's wasted 6 years of her life. ... Initially, I wanted her to work for a personal shopper company where people order what they want and she picks it up for them and delivers it to them. On the pilot, I wanted her to deliver to one of her regular customers, Mrs. Franklin, an elderly lady. But instead of her answering the door, it would be the grandson. And unexpectedly and without intention, they hook up. That's what this email says. They end up hooking up, and after a few days, she bumps into him again at the gas station, and this one-night stand guy turns into a date. But after having sex for the first time in a long time, Kelly ends up hooking up with other guys. As the season goes on, she ends up losing herself and not know which guys are in it for her heart or which are in it for the fun. The idea of this series is for Kelly to find herself once she's free from her long-term relationship. Whether that's sex, whether that's another relationship, whether that's being single, or whether that's being a mother. ... Eventually. All Kelly knows is that every choice she's made, she's unapologetic for it. And then he goes on to say that he's just spitballing, he's just trying to add some color to the premise and, grab in that viewership. I read this shit like, yo, what type of crack is he smoking and why does he not share it? Bro, what? What? Last time I counted, I think I got like 11 or 12 things that was wrong with a little... Let me just read you my response. Okay? So I basically said that before I went into my analysis, I said it's very important to me that in the creative process that we are honest but respectful and tactful. I think this is important. With that being said, I don't like the idea of her having a bunch of random sexual encounters in order to find herself. Are we at Wendy's or McDonald's? Because where they do that at? Where do they still do that at? Where? It lacks depth and it's been done many times. This is not how you'd write a female character. It's not. It's not. The personal shopper story sounds like a porno. Like, bro, what? You would lose your job. If I was a female, first of all, I am a female. I am a woman. If I was a woman who worked for a personal shopping company and I was delivering groceries to Miss Franklin, some 80-something-year-old woman and her grandsons opened the door, I'm supposed to just hand them the shit and leave. What is this walking in? What is this chit-chat? What is this unexpectedly and without intention? You can go to Pornhub for that. Stop it. Stop it. Doesn't make any sense. That girl would lose her job. So I went on to say, we cannot write a story about a woman who wants to have sex, has sex, and then loses herself because she has sex. That's misogynistic. It's also really bad to allude that she wasted her life for 6 years because she wasn't having sex. We need obstacles in the story. When he said when he was like, oh, we can have obstacles, but we need to keep the audience entertained, I feel like you're saying we need to show sexual things so people can come back and watch the show. But it's like, you do realize that you do not have a plot without obstacles and conflict. That's the drama. That's the tea. That's why we're here. If the hero, if the heroine, if the protagonist is getting everything they want and need, why are we here? I want to see somebody suffer, but then come out on top on the very end. I want to see them grow. I want to see them struggle. He need to go get a contract with Pornhub because he's tripping, okay? Anyways, I said there's no conflict, no drama without obstacles. And I said that the obstacles can be internal and external. The internal can be she wants to have sex with something internally and mentally is blocking her, whether it's religious beliefs, whether it's cultural beliefs, whether it's just, her experience and how whatever. And physical ones could literally be a conservative family or jobs and responsibilities and friendships and fake hoes. Who cares? Like something, give me a little something. So then I also said we need to figure out why this girl's abstinent, and if she's like in her 20s. Come on. Like we have to think here. We have to use the brain in our craniums. I think I'm saying this right. We have to use it. That's why we have it. Okay? That was just really irritating to me. And I'm like, first of all, if somebody is in a 6-year relationship, you're going to have some deep emotions here. And if you're like in your early to mid 20s, that means you've been dating this person since you were a teenager. More than likely, you are either sexually inexperienced or you haven't had a lot of sexual experience. You're not going to be boning the first dude that you see. I want to take the time to remind you, the worst has not yet to come. It's not here yet. It's not here yet. So we keep going, right? So I'm like, we need to figure out why she was abstinent, why it was important to her, how old is she, and throw in there her sexual experience. Is she never have done it, or has she done it a few times and she's like, I'm a little rusty? Because if she is, like I said, we're not going to be boning random dudes. That doesn't make any sense. But if we hone in on the fact that she's sexually inexperienced, she's probably only been in one serious relationship, because 6 years is a long time. That's a long time. Okay, people ask questions like, why aren't y'all married yet, type of things, when you're dating somebody for 6 years. Okay, if we have all this information, there's so much comedy that could come from that. So I wrote that this could also be very relatable to women, and it could be funny. You could have episodes of her going to a sex shop, talking to a sex therapist, hanging out with friends who are sexually active. Like, there's so many things, there's so many gems just waiting to be plucked with this type of concept. And you over here talking about fucking Mrs. Franklin's grandson. Make it make sense. Actually, no, don't do that. We don't have time to make misogyny make sense. We know why it's terrible. Anyways, I said that it should be awkward when she does have sex. That would also be comedic. And I said this concept has the potential to explore different sides of sex culture, hookup culture, and add commentary about it, and also show relatable experiences. And I also said Kelly needs to be black. Kelly needs to be black. We are tired of seeing TV shows and movies about the sex lives of white women. Me tired. Okay? And so then I started talking about how part of this premise has a very similar premise of the show Chewing Gum. Go watch it. It's insane. Have fun. And so I said I would like to do this, but she needs to be a well-rounded character with dreams, fears, and desires and goals that go beyond sex. And then I was like, let me know what you think. I think the show has a lot of potential. So then they get back to me. Okay, and basically they're like, okay, I have a few questions. Should the show be TV-14 or TV-MA? And he was like, if it's TV-MA, we can explore the dark sides of maturity. Nothing nudity, but it would be insinuated whether it's a lead character, the best friend, or even the mother. And I'm just like, hold on, pause. Is maturity only sex? I'm confused. I am confusion. Make it make sense. No, don't. Please don't. We don't have the time, okay? So they were like, we have to compromise on some stuff. And he's like, I think I can ride the wave of your idea, ... And basically saying he wanted Kelly to live with her wacky mother who goes on different dates. And then she needs to find a room to rent. And she bonds with her new roommates to achieve her personal goals. And then he says, but there has to be some love interest there. It doesn't have to be strong, but it doesn't have to have sex, but there should be a love interest to give the audience something to work with, ... Why? Y'all not tired? Listen, if I want romance, I'm gonna go for a soap. Specifically a K-drama soap. But, like, why does sexual exploration have to have a love interest? Can't a bitch be single and just explore her sexuality that way? Sexuality is a way of life. It doesn't have to always be the act of having sex and being attracted to somebody. Come on, like, get on the train and stay on it. But no, we have to have a love interest in there somewhere. And he was like, I don't know, I was seeing the story in a different way. Can you write a premise or can you write something so that I can see your direction? And he specifically said, I can write it. I don't mind writing it, but I'm not sure you'd like it. Let me know. And then I didn't email him back right away, but he also, I'm going to mention right now that he said that we actually have to pick a different name besides Kelly because he's using the name Kelly in another another web series because he has a website and he's making multiple web series. And I was like, okay. So that happens. I don't respond back, but he sends me a premise anyway. I want you to know the worst part still hasn't come. Whatever you hear next, just know I'm going to tell you when the worst part comes. I'm going to tell you. Trust me, the worst part is not here yet. Even what I'm about to say next. So he changes the name of the character. He changes the name of the character to Unapologetically Gabby. Yes, you heard that right. It's Unapologetically Gabby is the name of the new show. My name is Gabby Bowen, Gabbybowen. This character's name is Gabby Bowles, Gabbybowles. Yes. I want you to know the worst part is not here yet. It's not here yet. I know. It's not here yet. So, there's 2 sections in this little premise that he sent me. There's an About Series section, and then there's a pilot episode breakdown section. Let's get it. The About Series. Gabby Bowles just got dumped by her boyfriend, and now she's deciding to take back her life and live it completely unapologetically, even with the many mistakes she runs into. Now let's read this pilot episode breakdown. The worst will be at the very end. Gabby works for a local company called Community Good Helpers as a personal shopper. As she's at the store, she's on the phone with her best friend Miranda. As Gabby notices her client didn't send enough money for the items she ordered, she proceeds checking out and walks to her car. She bumps into Edward, her mom's ex-husband, who unexpectedly, he seems to like this word unexpectedly a lot. He unexpectedly flirts with her before continuing with his day. Gabby arrives at the client's house and knocks on the door. The client examines the bag and notices an item is missing. Gabby explains she didn't send her enough money but offered to go back to the store to go get it. And I'm just like, if we're using an app because it's 2020, how could you not have enough? The customer cusses her out and slams the door in her face. Gabby walks away and heads home. When she walks in her apartment, Randall is on the couch, on the phone with someone with one hand in his pants. This man also cannot write. Like, I can't stand when people can't write. Anyways, he doesn't say it, but we can assume Randall is the boyfriend. What happens? He breaks the news to Gabby, and she begins to attack him. What news? Mr. Craigslist man, what news? I mean, I know the news is that he's cheating on her, he's breaking up with her. Me, no. Okay, I don't know. So she attacks him, but then she hides in the bathroom and she texts Miranda to come over. Or, the way that it's written, it could be he hides in the bathroom and she texts Miranda to come over. Or I don't know, he can't fucking write. Anyways, when Miranda arrives, she helps Gabby get her things and they go to her apartment. Gabby doesn't want to live with Miranda because she doesn't get along with Miranda's boyfriend. Hold up, full stop. Were we not just at Gabby's apartment? Why is Gabby leaving her own apartment? Why is Gabby? So, she needs to find a room to rent. So she's looking on Craigslist and she gets an apartment in hours. In hours, she gets a roommate. Roommate's name is Francesca. And she's like, Gabby's trying to get to know Francesca. And basically saying that since Francesca doesn't know Gabby, she's not really answering her questions. And it's like, bitch, that's the whole point of getting to know somebody. Okay. Anyways, Gabby decides to go to the store to go get some snacks. The worst part is arriving. It's not here just yet. She goes to the store to get some snacks for a new place. But she bumps into Edward, her stepdaddy. He flirts with her again, and she invites him to her car for a beer. They're catching up on life and reminiscing on the past. And then he proceeds to unbutton his pants. Gabby is freaked out and tells him to go. But then she quickly sets her beer down and dives into giving him oral. And the screen fades to black. It took me all day to respond to this man because at first I was writing my own premise and then I was like, no, I'm not sending this man my golden ticket ideas so he can smear them with misogyny. There was so many things wrong about that premise. There was so many things wrong. Stepdaddy, I'm sorry, ex-stepdaddy. Reminiscing on the past. If she's even remotely in her early to mid-20s, and he's an ex-stepfather, because he wrote it as mother's ex-husband. We know what that means. That's ex-stepfather. Don't try it. Do not do that. So, reminiscing on what? You were a child. This means it's predatory. It's predatory. It's predatory. It's predatory. It's predatory. It's predatory. So I was popping off. I was like, you don't know how to write a fucking TV show. I didn't say it like that, but I basically said, you don't know how to write a TV show. I didn't actually say that, but he doesn't know how to write a fucking TV show because it's a whole bunch of bad things happen to Gabby, and then she tries to fix them, and then more bad things happen, and she's kind of fixing them. And I basically broke down how you're supposed to write a TV show. You're supposed to have life as it was. You're supposed to have something comes up that pushes her to take action, which creates the conflict. Then she's trying to solve the problem, and then different obstacles pop up, and then you have more obstacles getting in the way, making things a little worse. Then she realizes something, and then, which kind of helps her solve the problem, and then whoop-de-doo, the problem is solved. Something like that. That is a very basic, like 20-30 minute TV show episode. He has another TV show, another web series on his website that is pure trash. It is like so fucking stupid. And it was like, I've never seen such bullshit in my life. So some people, it's like, y'all don't have the talent, nor do you have the skills, but you have the equipment and you have the support. And that makes me angry. So I basically told him, I'm like, this collaboration is not going to work. It was so inappropriate for you to put my name in that. And then to basically write me giving oral to my ex-stepfather. That is predatory behavior. I said that reads like a porno. That is like straight out of Pornhub. Like you had to have been searching through Pornhub and watching in the past 48 hours. And then you're like, oh, let me put this in my TV show. I'm so smart. What the fuck? Like, no. And I'm like, you can't be trying to do a women's sexual journey, like sexuality exploration and liberation, and just have her fucking the first dude that she sees. Like, the first man that she's seeing after she gets dumped by her boyfriend is her ex-stepfather the second time when she's at the store buying some beer. First of all, ladies, do you invite men to your car for beers in the parking lot of a store? No. You do it with a joint, but not with no beer. Why would we not just go to a restaurant, go to a bar and get a good drink? Why are we in the car? That's so tacky. Like, what? So, there was just so many things wrong. Wrong. I'm gonna need the male filmmakers to have several seats and glue their asses down to them if you're gonna write female characters. I'm so tired of sitting and sharing seats and spaces with male filmmakers who write women like this. There's so many of you that do it. There's so many, and don't act like, oh, we're better. No, you're not. No, you're not. There's too many of y'all amateur, childish-ass, idiotic men out here that are writing female characters, and you think this is the wave. You think this is the moment. You surfing on it. You talking about it's a cash cow. Stay in your lane. It is not writing female women characters. It's not. It's not. Now, that's not to say men can't write female characters, because that's not true. I'm saying there's too many of the amateur ones, shit, even the professional ones that are writing women characters just like this, and you think you sitting on a pot of gold. And it's like, no. The least you could do is respect women first before you put the pen to the paper. That's the least you can do. That is the bare minimum. And the bar is like below the ocean for male filmmakers when y'all sit and y'all write stuff like this. That's what makes me angry. It's like, wow, y'all really be breathing air and writing crap like this, and you think you are a film genius. No. And then to just be so disrespectful and put my fucking, I don't know you. You are a stranger to me. I don't even know what this man's face looks like. He knows what mine looks like because he's seen my YouTube videos. Yo, bro. Don't quit your day job. Don't quit your day job. For real. Because this ain't it. This is not how you do this. This is inappropriate. This is pornographic type of storyline. You're depicting. I also went off and said, you need to be more sensitive about writing female characters, because what you're doing right now is totally out of pocket. And it's like there's a huge problem with the way that men view women, when it's like they can only really view them as mother figures or sex objects. And that's exactly what you did for this Kelly Gabby character. Talking about whether she's being in a relationship or she's like having sex or being a mother. These are the only avenues that he offered for her to be finding herself, and made the bitch a personal shopper. My God, what aspirations. I'm not saying everybody that lives has to be ambitious, but I know that everybody wants something and everybody has something they're passionate about, or at least they enjoy doing to some type of degree. But being a personal shopper is like some side hustle. That's not no real job. The fuck? So I could pop off on this like so much, but like honestly, if you're watching this, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you too. Hoo-hoo. Like for real, because this was just, if you're going to be talentless, the least you could do is be respectful. And if you're going to be disrespectful, the least you could do is have talent. Or skill. Skill. Okay? Whatever. Case closed. You know, interacting with dummies like this just reminds me that, you know what, it's not that I'm inadequate, it's that I have no money. And I'm black and I'm female, but that's okay. It gives me the advantage to be able to call out and recognize how terrible y'all are being in the content you're trying to make. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. But yeah, that's my video. I know this was pretty long, but the tea needed to be spilled and I wasn't going to spare any details. If you liked this video, please be sure to give it a like and spread the word around. If you're a male filmmaker, please take notes and know your place and talk to women and get to know them. And don't write garbage like this, and don't treat people that you're collaborating with, women you're collaborating with, like this. This is not how you treat them. You do not write something so disgustingly inappropriate and put your partner's name in it without permission, with no discussion, especially if you're a fucking stranger. Now, granted, yes, I went onto Craigslist. I know that. So all you buffoons on Craigslist, shut up, okay? Just shut up. Just shut up, okay? That's it. Give this video a like. Be sure to subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out.